Hey there everyone, welcome back. This is the round of 32 of the ESL Hearthstone Southeast Asia Legends number 16. We're here with WaningMoon and Lalasong.
That didn't quite hit the mark.
So let's take a quick look at how this is going. This is Conquest mode, of course, and the Grand Tournament is all legal, as you can see from that lovely new card, King's Elect, that has backfired for Lalasong. So WaningMoon is playing Warrior, Paladin, and Druid, and Lalasong, on the other hand, is playing Warrior, Hunter, and Mage. So let's take a quick look at how everything is going here. Lalasong can start setting up with that Pilot Shredder at the very least. Has a little bit more momentum, but WaningMoon can stall for a whole bunch of times with that Druid of the Claw, the Sludge Belcher. Harrison Jones not too useful, sadly, and if WaningMoon actually manages to draw into an Innervate next turn, he's going to be pretty happy about that as well, since he can trigger both the Sludge Belcher and from the Kill Fuzad. And he'll just get a lot out of that one. Of course, Lalasong does have the reply in the form of the Hunter's Mark and the Quick Shot, or even the Iron Beak Owl. So it's all kind of depending on how Lalasong is going to play this one out. Sludge Belcher still a massively popular card. Has been for an extremely long time, especially in the days of Stall Warrior, where you just rack up a bunch of armor and just fatigue your opponent or board them to death, because that's pretty much how the deck played. Lalasong sacrificing the Iron Beak Owl, though, to take care of that one, to at least bypass the taunt. There, Lalasong attacking straight for face, maybe letting WaningMoon think that he might have something different in hand. Swipe from WaningMoon would take care of the entire field, but of course that would leave Lalasong with another minion. Secret is gonna trigger though. Snipe to be played here. Snipe a secret that hasn't seen too much play in Hunter. You see it in some decks occasionally, every now and again, but it's not one of the favorite choices for Hunter, if I do recall correctly. So Secret baited out by WaningMoon. Still doesn't have enough to play that Kill Fuzad, so still hoping for an Innervate. Lalasong, on the other hand, doesn't really have too much to work with as of now. Has a Secret and some spells, and gets a Patient Assassin from that one, so not the worst. Animal Companion also not really providing with good results here in the form of the Huffer. So Lalasong might actually be forced to play that Quick Shot to take care of that Sludge Belcher.
Quickly.
So has to do that one. Only does the 3 damage. Does not get the additional card draw. And now WaningMoon again in swipe range. So is gonna drop just that, along with the additional damage from the Shapeshift, is gonna leave Lalasong at 27. And now we're heading towards those stages where Druid can really drop some big minions on the table, and it's gonna be hard for pretty much any class to deal with that doesn't really have mass removal. Lalasong dropping Web Spinner, Freezing Trap out on the field, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see WaningMoon just dropping the Ancient of War and turning it into a 5/10, or maybe even the Druid of the Claw and then Shapeshift. But decides to Shapeshift first, decides to see what Lalasong is getting from that one. Does get a Savannah High Mane and turns that other Druid into a bear for defensive purposes. Now the Savannah High Mane created by Web Spinner on the field. Lalasong still probably has 2 in his deck, 2 legitimate copies in his deck, because I do believe that Web Spinner adds a random beast card, so it could be any beast card, including but not limited to Gazerline King Crush, if I'm not mistaken.
What to do?
Now WaningMoon, considering how he is gonna set this one up, of course, Hunter's Mark and Unleash the Hounds should be enough to take care of anything that WaningMoon might actually drop on the field here. Savannah High Mane has enough to deal with that one, but Kel'Thuzad is going to be the card played here, and the second copy of Savannah High Main being pulled here by Lalasong. Freezing Trap still in play here. Lalasong just has not had any luck with his Freezing Traps triggering. I guess that WaningMoon just knows what trap it is and decides to play it a lot slower of a game, since Explosive Trap would have triggered already, so it is more than likely Freezing Trap, because Bear Trap hasn't triggered as well. And Bear Trap, mind you, has worked really well for Lalasong in the past, in the previous game, where it pretty much prevented him from dying to lethal and him doing his own lethal. I think that at this point Lalasong just has to drop the Savannas and see if he can advance his game state from there on forward. Kel'Thuzad is of course gonna respawn that Druid of the Claw here. Now WaningMoon can start silencing those Savannas with with Keepers of the Grove, should he so choose. Or he could actually play the Sylvanas Windrunner and maybe try and steal away the 6/5s on the board. Shapeshift added to that one. Is he going to attack with Kel'Thuzad? No, he is not. Lalasong still no response for that one, so both players just building a board, so to speak. Now Dr. Boom and Steady Shot. One thing that Lalasong does have going for him in this matchup is the Steady Shot, which will consistently do 1 damage to WaningMoon, because he is more than likely gonna shapeshift every time, so that's why the 1. And I feel like Keeper Sylvanas Windrunner might be a good play here. And Lalasong is just pretty much brooding on his plan. I think that what Lalasong wants to do is, on the next turn, use the Hunter's Mark on the Keeper or Ancient of War, excuse me. Attack with a Boombot, then attack with the Savannah onto the Druid of the Claw, and then use his Dr. Boom and the remaining Boombot to kill off that Kel'Thuzad, making sure he doesn't get anything. Freezing Trap is going to be triggered, and like WaningMoon is actually just gonna go on the offensive slightly. Lalasong does not care right now, because Lalasong has a setup at this point, as he is more than able to take out that Kel'Thuzad and pretty much anything and everything on the field. Only has to sacrifice one of his 4 health from the Savannah High Main. And WaningMoon realizing that I might have made a mistake here. You gotta give it to Lalasong all the patience he has shown. WaningMoon just really scared of that Freezing Trap. And it seems like Freezing Trap is gonna win Lalasong the game again, or at least give him a whole bunch of momentum. So first is gonna fall and Lalasong could even just use the Hunter's Mark on the Kel'Thuzad and use the Boombot on him, but is gonna unleash the Hounds instead for 2, only sacrificing his Houndmaster added as well for lethal here. Lalasong taking his time, but realizing he has the game. A quick finish here. Lalasong winning 1-0. And we're gonna set up game 2 for you in just a second here, so in the meantime, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game 2 between Lalasong and WaningMoon.
versus Garrosh.
Victory or death! I must protect the wild.
Hey there everyone, welcome back to Hearthstone Southeast Asia Legends number 16, hosted by ESL, casted by myself, Spell Ruler. This is Lalasong versus WaningMoon, with Lalasong being one game up in this best of 5 series. This is Conquest mode, so we did see Lala win with his Hunter, so he's not allowed to play that one anymore, so only has Warrior and Mage left, and a lot of new cards in Lala's hand. So let's take a quick peek at that. The Twilight Guardian, if you're holding a Dragon game, +1 attack and taunt the sparring partner, taunt and give a minion taunt. The Alexstrasza's Champion, if you're holding a Dragon game, +1 attack and charge, and is holding a dragon, the Azure Drake and the Twilight Guardian as well. So it looks like this is a Dragon Warrior deck of some sort. This is the first time I've seen this, so quite interesting to see, as the Grand Tournament just got released. So I'm actually quite curious to see this working out. It looks like the Twilight Guardian is going to be a big body for 3/6 here. And WaningMoon responding with his own piloted Shredder here. Both of these players pretty known for playing relatively conservatively, only like making their big plays when they're absolutely sure they can get the maximum out of it.
What now?
So, excuse me. Both players thinking their moves over. Blackwing Corruptor, if you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage. I'm starting to really like this dragon deck, how it's working out. A lot of synergy with each other here. And of course with the new cards here, the sparring partners, just to taunt up the board, keeping yourself safe. Keeper of the Grove being dropped there for the Moonfire, and shapeshift into that one. Will take 3 damage, but small price to pay. But Lala does have another Twilight Guardian available for himself. Blood Mage Dalnas being dropped for WaningMoon for some extra spell damage. Now WaningMoon is kind of hoping that he'll get an Innervate in the next 4 turns, so he can do Force of Nature, Savage Roar for a whole bunch of damage. Maybe even have some minions to back him up on that one. Lala, in the meantime, is ramping up those dragons slowly but surely. Can play another Twilight Guardian. Question is, does he want to do it? So he could go Twilight Guardian sparring partner, just to set up another defensive board. WaningMoon doesn't really have a way to get rid of that unless he actually uses the Savage Roar with the cards he has in hand right now, mind you. So Despite being hovered over as well. Twilight Guardian being dropped here, so 36 body on the field here, and Ancient of Lore being drawn by WaningMoon, so he'll be able to get some nice cards being drawn here. So Sylvanas Windrunner and Shade of Noxus. That was just the perfect timing to get that, just as he ticked 7 mana. WaningMoon definitely with the card advantage here on forward. A little bit too late on the shades though, I feel, but if he can like protect them, have them on the board for a couple of turns, then he might be able to just OTK Lala with all the sheer power that comes from the Force of Nature and Savage Roar combo that Druid is so known for. But Lala, sitting at 7 mana himself, he can start ramping up as well with Dr. Boom setting up immense field pressure with those boom bots as always. Or he could just go Azure Drake into Big Game Hunter.
What now?
Sorry, the cards aren't showing properly right here, probably because players are shuffling through them. So is instead going to go for Shield Block to dig a little bit deeper in his deck. The Blackwing Technician. If you're holding a dragon, gain +1/+1. And also the weapon being equipped there, leaving WaningMoon at only 19. Now Harrison Jones being top decked. But of course, if that weapon is destroyed, it will trigger its Death Rattle effect. That will get rid of the Alex Strauss's champion and would leave Twilight Guardian at 2/5, which would mean that Ancient of Lore is in the range to kill it off. So all pretty much working out perfectly for WaningMoon. Now they're starting to rack up advantage as well. Still no Innervate in his hand, and now Lala has to play defensively in some way, shape, or form. I feel that Azure Drake into Sparring Partner might be a correct play here, or Death's Bite into the Harrison Jones. It will take a little bit of damage, but you do have the armor to kind of account for that. And Lala just kind of running out of options. Like, I do like the dragon synergy, everything it has, but it just seems that versus Druid just has a little bit more momentum with drawing cards. Does decide to equip the Death Spite, does go into the Harrison. Probably hoping that WaningMoon is going to drop another minion out on the field so he can just use the Death Spite effect to take care of that Ancient of Lore rather than just simply attacking into it. There's the Innervate for WaningMoon though, so let's do a quick calculation here. So if with the 2 Treants on the field, that's going to be... Whew, I'm not the quickest at math, so excuse me for that one. That is going to be 14 damage. And with double Savage Roar, it's going to be 34. So that would be 34 damage if I am not completely mistaken. But instead, WaningMoon deciding to go for the safe play here. I do feel that he was able to do all that damage, though. I do feel that he was actually able to just kill Lalasong off that turn.
What now?
Lalasong taking his time here for what he is going to do. Must choose, and if he wants to survive, then Azure Drake Sparring Partner is his only option, really. So it looks like he is going to go for that one Azure Drake Sparring Partner. Is he going to do it? Well, it has no choice, really, but now WaningMoon has the lethal combo in his hand. Is going to be more than happy to just ram everything he has straight into WaningMoon. And as to how he is going to play this one out, he could use his own attack to take care of the Azure Drake, use the Force of Nature, one of the Treants to take care of the Sparring Partner, and then the rest straight for face, realizing I can equal up the score. The well played comes out from Lalasong. And WaningMoon just hammering in with everything. He has 6 damage landing, another 6, 8, 7, and another 8. More than enough. WaningMoon equaling up the score 1-1.
Connor versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
I will fight with honor.
Hey there everyone, welcome back to Game 3 between WaningMoon and Lalasong in the Hearthstone Southeast Asia Legends Series. Number 16 scores tied up 1-1 as you can see on your screen right there. Lalasong now playing Mage, WaningMoon winning with his Druid, so he's not allowed to play that anymore, so he is going for Paladin, and looks like this is going to be a new build as well from the Grand Tournament, as the cards are legal of course. So looks like it is going to be Secret Paladin, or so to speak. Mogre to Ogre, all minions have a 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy. That's a fun one. WaningMoon drawing into Repentance whenever your opponent plays a minion and reduces its health. So one Secret Keeper is going to grow a little bit stronger right now as well. If he plays the Redemption as well, it's going to be even stronger, and it's going to be a hard-hitting Secret Keeper. Very much so. 5-4 Secret Keeper hitting Lalasong for 5 damage. And Lalasong instantly playing the Mogre to Ogre. Repentance being triggered, though turning it into a 7-1. So now WaningMoon only has to sacrifice one of these two cards to actually go into. But the Divine Favor is going to give WaningMoon so much card advantage. It's going to give him 7 cards for 3 mana. That is absolutely insane. Now WaningMoon has to be a little bit lucky that Mogre to Ogre is actually not gonna trigger. So it's gonna trigger once. Is it gonna trigger twice? Yes, it is. Mogre to Ogre being destroyed, but WaningMoon losing his very, very prized Secret Keeper at that point as well. So let's take a quick look at the new hand that WaningMoon has acquired here. Leper No, Muster for Battle, Knife Juggler, Shredder, Million Bot Creeper, and another Divine Favor. So can refresh his hand again. WaningMoon now with another secret. When one of your minions dies, give a friendly minion 3+3+2. Looks like WaningMoon is just gonna hammer on with these low value minions and just keep attacking. Lalasong is kind of wishing he has a Blizzard or anything like that. A lot of damage again landing. And next turn, if his minions are going to die, it's probably going to be Knife Juggler into Muster for Battle. Sorcerer's Apprentice is going to help out a lot in this case though. Lofa being pulled a little bit too late, I feel, but next turn Dr. Boom can be played for a little bit of pressure. Secret popping, Redemption coming in, and Abusive Sergeant respawning. Frostbolt now being used to take care of that one as well. WaningMoon with another Secret Keeper. Knife Juggler gonna be the card of choice here, along with the Piloted Shredder. WaningMoon playing a little bit conservatively, trying to take out the minions one by one, but does play it very well to get the maximum amount of daggers into Lalasong, being very efficient with his Knife Juggler. Lalasong only having 8 health left. Mirror Entity on the field, but I don't see anything that can prevent Lalasong from straight up losing next turn.
You win.
Well played.
WaningMoon overwhelming Lalasong with the onslaught of minions, winning the game with Paladin. So we're gonna set up game 3 for you, or game 4 for you rather, excuse me, as fast as possible. So just to give you a quick update on that one, the last class that WaningMoon has available for him is Warrior, according to my schedule here. So Lalasong still has Mage and Warrior for himself available. WaningMoon has to win with his own Warrior, so we could have a Warrior mirror matchup here in game 4, and looks like we have just that.
Victory or death! I will crush you!
So welcome back to game 4 between WaningMoon and Lalasong, both players playing warrior, and where better to play it than the Forge of Ragnaros. So we are here, Armorsmith for WaningMoon, Lalasong playing Blackwing Technician. Does have enough dragons in his hand right now, so it looks like it's going to be Dragon Warrior versus Patron Warrior in this one. So WaningMoon actually sacrificing a lot of resources to do the damage here. I'm not too sure why he would expend a weapon stack just like that. Actually really wants to get rid of that Blackwing Technician, I would assume. And so shield block used to draw into a Twilight Guardian. Can play that one next turn. Looks like WaningMoon has to sacrifice yet another weapon stack to get rid of that one, unless he actually uses Inner Rage to get rid of that Blackwing Technician. But he's going to use the weapons stack for this one. Mana Crystal to bring out the Acolyte and the Cruel Taskmaster just to draw another card. And he can even draw more cards with it if he actually uses that Inner Rage. That's probably going to save that one up. Especially now that he has the Frothing Berserker in his hand. Now Lala has drawn into Izera. Let's see what the other cards are. Revenge, Shield Slam, and a Shield Maiden. Twilight Guardian being dropped. Execute onto the Acolyte of Pain. WaningMoon not drawing any cards from that one as it was not damage. Now WaningMoon figuring out how he's going to go through this. Has to sacrifice a lot of cards to actually execute, even being used to get rid of that one. But all WaningMoon really needs at this point still is Warsong Commander if he wants to continue on his rampage. Lalasong trying to stall out to bring out his dragons, kind of like Game of Thrones. The dragons are coming, the dragons are coming. At one point, WaningMoon not really too cautious with his health pool right here. Just wants to go full on aggressive here. Unstable Ghoul still available for him, but does decide to go for the armor up instead. Lalasong slowly but surely getting out of resources, to be quite honest here. Can't play another Shield Maiden, but just decides to pass turn for that one. Harrison Jones for WaningMoon looks like he is going to start being a little bit aggressive here, as everyone is going to get in here, and it's going to be a full field for WaningMoon, and no way for Lalasong to clear that. And that Revenge is not going to help as well. WaningMoon with a almost full board of patrons here. Does Lalasong have a way to get over it? And well, no, he doesn't. Not with the Twilight Guardian. Shield Maiden only able to be used for stalling. Not even the Revenge is going to help, because that's just going to flood the field with even more patrons. And I feel that Lalasong is just not in a good spot right now. I really do like the dragon deck here. I do like the synergy between everything, but I feel like against higher paced decks it just loses out a little bit of momentum, of speed. Especially since WaningMoon already has his board. It is lacking a little bit of draw power as well, I feel, because you're not really able to put in the Acolytes of Pain in it. And now WaningMoon, even with a Frothing Berserker in his hand, is going to shield lock first to gain a Warsong Commander. Are you serious? WaningMoon. What a hero. Is going to sacrifice that one. Inner Rage to grow a lot stronger, and even more Grim Patrons out on the field. All the damage landing onto Lalasong, only remaining with 23 health. Alexstrasza might be able to be useful later on. Looks like that is a sparring partner for 9 mana. What can you do? Is gonna bring out the Izera, and let's see what card he does get from that one. Does get an Izera Awakens, so if he manages to survive this turn, then Izera will be able to clear out the field completely. But will he actually have enough time? Probably not, because Unstable Ghoul is going to bring out even more Frothing Berserker. Power is going to rise. Another Grim Patron on the field. All the effects are going to trigger, and I just wonder how strong that Frothing Berserker is going to be. 11-3, and that is going to be more than enough for WaningMoon to win the series 3-1. WaningMoon will be moving on towards the round of 16.